Welcome to the Pub Sports Radio MLB Closing Time Show, Monday, September 20th. Ian Cameron, Conor Mac, and our Monday guest, Skee Profit, ready to break down the MLB card. I know we only have 2 Mondays worth of regular season MLB to break down on this show, as the final day is Sunday, October 3rd, and then it'll be playoff baseball starting after that. So we're getting down to the nitty-gritty. There's still a ton of races up for grabs, especially that AL wild card, which is anybody's race at this point. A lot of interesting matchups. Let's get to it. We'll start with a game that's just about to start. It's the first game of a day-night doubleheader with Kansas City and Cleveland. We've got Brady Singer, Tristan McKenzie, the pitching matchup. Cleveland minus 150, home favorite, 6.5, 7, the total in this game. I actually took Cleveland here in this one. Laid a little bit bigger price than I normally like to. But Tristan McKenzie's been a bet-on pitcher for me now for a while. He has been consistently really good for Cleveland since the early part of August. It's been a different pitcher since for most of the second half of the year, but especially since the start of August. He's been really rock solid, 5-2 in the last 7 starts for Cleveland with McKenzie on the mound. He's gotten 4 straight outings where he's given up just a single run, given up 4 runs over his last 25 innings. So he's been extremely good for Cleveland. Brady Singer on the mound for Kansas City. I just don't know one start to the next what I'm going to get. He's had a very up and down year. He's had some good starts. He's been pounded a couple of times, and it speaks to what his ERA is. 4.85 ERA, his road numbers, 5 ERA on the road, which isn't great. Faced Cleveland earlier this year once, and he gave up 3 runs, 4 hits, and Kansas City lost that game. And then you look at McKenzie against the Royals. He's absolutely dominated them, shut them down, and given up just 1 run in 18 innings over 3 starts for him against the Royals, and Cleveland won all 3 of those games. So it's a little high price, minus 150, but I'm on Cleveland here with McKenzie on the mound. Conor Mac, what do you think?
Yeah, doubleheader here, so I'm not on it. But McKenzie, we talked about, he has just dominated these Royals. And 2 teams I've struggled with the last month, taking kind of both. I've been okay, but seems like they need the Indians to hit. They don't hit. Then, like yesterday was the day before they break out with 13 runs. I'd lean under a tad bit how good McKenzie has been. It's Ken Singer, and yeah, who knows with those Indian bats. So I lean under the 6.5, but you know me with these double dips, I'm off.
Yeah, exactly. And Cleveland's bats certainly were alive and well at Yankee Stadium in the Bronx this weekend, pounding the Yankee pitching Saturday and Sunday. 2 really, really bad, tough losses at a bad time for the Yankees in that weekend series against Cleveland. Skee, what do you like in this game?
Yeah, I don't really play doubleheaders either, but just what you said about McKenzie dominating the Royals and with how he's been pitching lately, like he has a 1.5 ERA over his last 3 starts. So I like seeing that and like hearing what you had to say, and I think it would have to be Cleveland in this one if I'm playing.
All right, next game we've got is the White Sox and the Tigers. Carlos Rodon, Matt Manning, the pitching matchup. White Sox minus 230, road favorites, 8.5 the total. In this game, the White Sox really in coast mode, I guess you could say, the rest of the year, comfortably way ahead in the division. It's not like there's a whole lot on the line for the White Sox, and they're kind of playing like that, up and down. They're only 2-3 in their last 5 games. They lost 2 games at home to the Angels last week. They played Texas on the road over the weekend, and they went 2-3 in that series, but Texas pitching really poor. Let's see what they do here against Detroit. And look, this Tigers team, I'm kicking myself that I didn't bet them more against Tampa over the weekend. I said, last time I was on this show, I'm not looking to lay big prices with Tampa Bay. They're lethargic. They're going through the motions. They're trying to get to the playoffs. That's where their focus is right now. They just want to get the regular season over with, and Detroit beats them the last 2 games in that weekend series against the Rays, 4-3 and 2-0. Their pitching was very good from both Skubal and Willie Peralta in that game. 7 strong innings of shutout baseball against Tampa Bay. Hard to believe, but Fast Willie's gotten it done here for the Tigers. And now they'll turn to Matt Manning, who doesn't have good numbers overall, but Matt Manning is coming off 2 consecutive really good starts in a row. Shut down Pittsburgh, and the more impressive one was the last time he pitched against Milwaukee. 1 run allowed in 6 innings for Matt Manning, so he pitched quite well. Carlos Rodon on the mound for the White Sox, 2.38 ERA. He's been extremely good. He's given up 2 runs or less in 4 straight starts, and the White Sox have won all 4 of those games. tough to go against him. But, man, I am tempted at this price, even with Rodon's good numbers and the 4-0 run in his last 4 starts. I'm so tempted by this price with Detroit. First 5 full game split, perhaps, because I think there's immense value on this Detroit team that's playing good ball. You like to back these kind of teams late in September. There may be teams that are out of the playoffs, but teams that are still playing hard, teams that still are trying to win games late in the year. And that's exactly what Detroit's doing right now. So for me at this price, Tigers are nothing for me, and I still might get involved with a small play on the Tigers here. Connor, what do you think? White Sox, Tigers?
Me too. I think this is, if you like the White Sox, I mean, there's other spots this time of the year and how they're playing, kind of coasting here at the end. And I would want to lay minus 225 with Rodon. It'd be Tigers or nothing here. I have them Friday night. They lost that one. They won Saturday, Sunday, but they lost. They gave us 7 runs in the 9th. But with the lefty and the Tigers, I think you should look at the team total over 3.5. It's plus 115. If you'd rather go that route. So yeah, I think I might have a little bet on both. Maybe one full game plus 200, and then their team total at plus 115 over 3.5.
All right, Skee, Chicago and Detroit.
I came into this game thinking, why are so many people wanting to bet Detroit? And you guys are giving me a few reasons here. I mean, I get it. They've been playing well lately. I think they've won 7 of their last 10. But when I look at this matchup, Manning, I don't feel as good about him as you guys do. He had 2 good starts in a row. Before that, he gave up, I think, like 8 runs. And on the season, he has a 5.75 ERA. So I put that against Rodon, and even how he's looked lately, I think it's a big difference. I don't love that the White Sox are on the road, but I look a little bit further how each team has been hitting. Detroit is 4th worst weighted runs created plus versus lefties over the last 2 weeks. So even if they are good on the year, they haven't been hitting them lately. And I look at the White Sox versus righties, they're 12. So I would just have to look at the White Sox or pass. I probably would take them on a -1 line or -1.5.
Yeah, it's definitely Rodon's in good form. There's no doubt, and that's what worries you if you like Detroit here tonight. Pittsburgh, Cincinnati, Dylan Peters, Vladimir Gutierrez. Your matchup, Cincinnati -160, home favorites, 9.5 the total in this one. I am not laying a price with his Reds team right now. That's it. I've done it a couple times, and I've had my teeth kicked in. I'm not doing that again. Pittsburgh, actually, you know what? Let's be honest. They picked it up a little bit down the stretch. Their bullpen's been a little bit better lately. Even their bats have started to swing the ball a little bit better in the last little bit of a little stretch of games for Pittsburgh. They've definitely been hitting the ball a little bit better. See if that can carry over. They just took 2 or 3 at home against Cincinnati last week, took 2 or 3 against Washington, took 2 or 3 against Miami. They're actually winning series right now. The Pittsburgh Pirates. Give them credit. Dylan Peters on the mound, the lefty for the Pirates. He's actually pitched well. 2.66 ERA overall, 1.8 ERA on the road. I know Cincinnati's never an easy place to pitch, but he's in good form, and the Pirates have been winning with him on the mound lately. 4-2 in his last 6 starts. 5 starts he's made. They're 3-2, but he's given up 3 runs or less in all of them, and he just shut out Cincinnati 6 days ago. 5 hits of shutout ball in 5 innings for Dylan Peters in that game. You've got Vladimir Gutierrez taking the mound for the Reds. He faced Pittsburgh in that same game, same matchup, or actually different matchup. That was the next night, but struggled. 4 runs, 5 hits, 3.2 innings. His command and control was off a little bit. In fact, he's allowed 6 walks in his last 3 starts combined. So that is definitely something that concerns me with Gutierrez. His home ERA is almost 5. Which isn't great. And the Reds are only 3-5 with him on the mound at home in his last 8 home starts. And look, just not playing great ball, the Reds. They've gone through a really, really rough stretch of ball, 3-7 in their last 10 games. I think it's Pittsburgh or pass in this game. Dog or pass, the value's there. Peters shut down the Reds just recently. They don't hit lefties as well, the Reds, for the better part of the last month at least. So right now, look, sometimes teams – must win doesn't equal will win. The Reds got to win this game. But, when you're in this situation, you got to try to win games, 3 games back of the wild card, which St. Louis has, the second NL wild card. There's a reason you're in this spot. You've not been consistent enough all year to be trusted to get into the playoffs. That's why the Reds are in this must-win spot. Even more reason why I tell people must-win doesn't equal will win. You're in a must-win spot because you're mediocre. That's why you're in a must-win spot. So at this price, it's Pittsburgh or nothing for me. Conor Mac, what do you think?
Yeah, me too. It's a must win, but there's that pressure. You got to win. So, it's just not easy to go out there. Everything gets tighter, when that happens. So there's just no way. Gutierrez has kind of hit a wall. He pitched well early on. He just got hit by these Pirates who have been hanging around. You mentioned Peters just pitched. I don't love it. Just September 14th is it 5-6 days ago. So they seen him. But as you talked about, the Reds struggle against lefties. Even though Peters isn't a great lefty, I'd be on the Pirates. I kind of look over, even though it's at 9.5. It is even money. I think it's 8-2 to the over when these teams meet. So I lean over here, and I'd only be on the Pirates.
All right, Skee, what do you think here, Pittsburgh, Cincy?
Well, the numbers for the Reds last 2 weeks, weighted runs created plus, they're dead last versus lefties, and I just think Gutierrez is not that good. Like 3 of his last 4 starts, he's given up 4+ runs each time, and he's only made it about 3 innings or so. So you got to lay -190 with a guy like that and a team that's not hitting. I think the only way to look is to back Peters. He's looked pretty decent as far as his season ERA. I see 2.66, and his last 3 starts 3.21. So. I'll be back in the dog. I probably don't want the Pirates bullpen, so maybe just the first 5. But no way I'm playing the Reds at the price that they have today.
All right, next up, we've got Washington, Miami. I know Crystal Warren in our chat saying the Reds are just crushing my soul this month. The Reds do that every year, right? That's what they've done. They've had these times where it looks like they're getting over the hump. They might make the playoffs. They might win a playoff series, and it just doesn't happen. It's been a tough luck franchise, the Reds, for a while now. And boy, they look like they were in the best spot possible to be the wild card team a few weeks ago. And now they've faded, and now St. Louis has been red hot, and now they're 3 games back of the Cardinals. And that's a lot of games to make up with just less than 2 weeks left in the regular season. So Cincinnati has to go on one hell of a run if they're going to track down St. Louis for that second wild card. Washington, Miami, Eric Fetty, Jesus Luzardo, even money price, 8.5 the total. I lean Washington in the over here again. I think I had the over as a best bet last time these 2 pitchers faced off against one another, which was just a week ago.
Got there in the 8th, yeah.
Yeah, exactly. It was 6 days ago, 8-2 Miami or Washington. They battered that Miami bullpen late in the game, and it went over the total. That was a best bet. I remember it on this show last week, September 14th. I'm tempted to come right back to it here, the over. I'm also going to probably look toward Washington. Like, I'm not a big Eric Fetty fan, but I've seen him enough against Miami to know he owns this team. He's completely dominated the Marlins this year. Again, 3 runs allowed in 17.1 innings. I think he's definitely got the potential. That's a long track record of success, and the Miami Marlins have just not been able to hit him. And then on the other side, you got Luzardo on the mound, who continues to struggle. He got walloped by Washington just 6 days ago. 4 runs, 7 hits, 4.1 innings. He's had a rough year overall, as we've documented. 6.75 ERA for the year. And again, as good as Fetty's been against Miami, Luzardo has really had a tough time against Washington. 9 runs allowed in 2 starts this year to the Washington Nationals. 9 runs in just 9 innings of work. So he's given up a run per inning this year against this Washington Nationals team. So I think the Nationals get the win. I'll take them first 5 full game split, and also look over the total. There's actually some 8s popping up now at a lot of books with this total. I'm a little perplexed the total's going down in this game. I think it's I know these lineups can be sketchy at times, but these pitchers are even sketchier. So I'm looking over the total, and I like the Washington side here. Conor Mac, what do you?
Yeah, you talked about it. These just went off a week ago with these 2 pitchers. I'm the ultimate fade of Fetty, but yeah, he owns these Marlins, and the last 3 starts, 2 runs. He's given up nothing in 6, 1 in 6, and 1 in 6 earned run. So yeah, Nationals with a lefty, Luzardo. They hit him well. I was on their team total last week. It got there. The 4.5 is now plus money though, plus 115. And I'd also be on the Nats if you like them for the game. And I lean over as well. I'm not going crazy about it, but at 8, I just don't trust the pitchers. I know that ballpark is an under, and I love an under, but I'd only lean over with these pitchers a little bit.
All right, Skee Profit, what do you think here with the Nats and the Marlins?
I got involved with the first 5 over at 4, and either pitcher can give it up. Like you guys said, I get Fetty was good the last time out versus the Fish, but Lazardo, I feel like his last couple he's given up 4 versus them. So I think both pitchers are bad. When I look at season long ERA 6.75, 5.16, and I just want to focus on them. Like I look at the Marlins bullpen the last 2 weeks, 3.36 ERA. Nationals was north of 6 for a little bit, but they're coming back down 4.68. So fade both starting pitchers, and also like the Nationals the last 2 weeks, 8th weighted runs created plus versus lefty. So I see some runs here either way, whichever starting pitcher gives it up.
All right, we got Texas and the New York Yankees. Nestor Cortez on the mound for the Yankees and A.J. Alexy for the Texas Rangers. The Yankees minus 260, home favorites, 8.5 the total in this one. I stayed away from MLB yesterday just because there's so much NFL going on, and that's where the focus was. But immediately when I see Cleveland jump out 2-0 on the Yankees, and I see Garrett Cole was minus 330 in that game as a home favorite, I was like, why the hell did I just not bet something on Cleveland here? I mean, even with Cole on the mound, with the way the Yankees had been playing, just a kind of crazy price range considering the struggles this team has endured for the better part of the last month. And sure enough, they lose both of the last 2 games of that weekend series at home to Cleveland, getting outscored 22-4 in those games. Now, you would think against this Texas team that is pretty bad and has just won 1 game in their last 5 games that this is the ultimate get-right spot tonight for the Yankees. But how many times do we have to see this team struggle in get-right spots? You know, the Baltimore series last week, they barely won the second game. They had to come back, and then they blew the third game. They could have went 1-2 in that series at Baltimore last week, a team that's just as bad or almost as bad as Texas. So nothing is coming easily for this Yankees team. Cortez, I'll give him credit. He's pitched really well. 4 runs allowed in his last 17 innings. He's pitched quite well. But still, you're talking about minus 260. And Alexy, you know, who's on the mound here for Texas, he hasn't given up a run in 11 innings pitched in his 2 starts he's made against Colorado and the Angels. So he's kept them in it. I think the Texas first 5 is at least worth some kind of bet here. Like Alexy hasn't given up an earned run, you know, as a spot starter here for this Rangers team. And I don't trust these Yankee bats at the moment. If you don't like the full game, because we do have a bad Texas bullpen, it's down to around plus 220 for the first 5, but that's still a great price. I mean, I think you got to look Texas here at this number. I mean, how can you go there with confidence to the betting window or the account or wherever you place your bet and say, hey, let's lay minus 260 with this Yankees team right now? I sure as hell can't do it. Conor Mac, what do you think here? Texas, New York Yankees.
Yeah, the Yankees just keep struggling. Alexy did good in his 2 starts, and that piggyback off Howard, he got hit hard by the Astros. But I'd still with Cortez. I don't trust these teams to hit. So I wish this was a 5, but I still lean it here. I like it a bit. The first 5 under 4.5. And yeah, I think you take a shot with the Rangers at the first 5, plus 210, 215. There's just no way I can take the Yankees. You know, they're just a massive price right now. They're not playing good baseball. They can't hit a lick. So it's Rangers, and I'm looking at the under or pass here.
Yeah, definitely. Alexy got roughed up, you're right, by the Astros. He came in after the initial starter in that game, and he struggled a bit. And the Astros are a good lineup, and the Yankees on paper are supposed to be a good lineup, so maybe they can hit them, but we just haven't seen it. We've seen a lot of different pitchers, good, bad, mediocre, in between, that have really put the clamps down on the Yankees offense lately. So it's not a sure thing they bust out. What do you think here, Skee?
I didn't look too much into this game, but when I hear Alexy, and I remember the last time that I saw him out there that he was getting hit, like I think he looked pretty good before that. And good pitchers, in my mind, they're allowed to have like one bad start out there, and I'm not gonna think too much of it. So I would look to go back at them if we're getting big plus money against the Yankees. Even though Rangers bats haven't been that great lately, the Yankees bats have been a little bit better, at least versus righties. But I just have to play the Texas first 5. I don't want the bullpen at all, and that's the only way I'll play.
Yeah, it's absolutely a difficult team to trust laying this kind of number right now. The New York Yankees, no question. All right, next game is the Toronto Blue Jays and the Tampa Bay Rays. I would say the front runner to win the American League Cy Young Award, Robbie Ray, on the mound tonight for the Jays. And we've got Shane Baz for the Tampa Bay Rays. Toronto minus 130, road favorites here, 8 the total. You look at this price and say, wow, Blue Jays favored in Tampa, but it's their dominant Cy Young contending ace on the mound, Robbie Ray, who's been lights out. It's a Robbie Ray that has shut down, not just pitched well, shut down Tampa Bay. Each time he's faced them this year, he's been dominant against this Rays team. If it's anything like what we've seen from Ray against the Rays this season, then you probably are going to see him probably have another good start here tonight. I mean, he's just been terrific. I mean, he's racking up the strikeouts. I mean, the strikeout prop numbers, I'm not going to say they have great value right now. They keep on going up with Robbie Ray in terms of his strikeout prop, but it's up to 7.5 here, but I'd still lean that way. Over 7.5 strikeouts still feels like it's a bit of a bargain right now in Robbie Ray games. Look at these last 7 starts for Robbie Ray. 8, 11, 14, 10, 10, 8, and 13. Those are the strikeout numbers. So he hasn't gone below 8 strikeouts, Robbie Ray, in his last 7 starts, and his strikeout prop is 7.5. It's almost like, what am I missing here? Like, unless he gets hit around or he gets injured and he's got to come out of the game early, I think he's got a great chance once again to go over 7.5 strikeouts. So I like that strikeout prop. Don't know if I love the price on Toronto. It's not like it's a bargain. And the Rays are sitting a few players. Someone mentioned that earlier. They are. I mean, this is not a full stock Tampa Bay lineup tonight. They have Diaz, Cruz, Rosarena, Margot, Luplo, Wendell, Mejia, Walls, Kiermaier. I mean, Meadows is out. They've got a couple of their bigger bats out tonight, the Tampa Bay lineup here. There's a couple guys missing that they're resting here tonight. So Wander Franco's out. Again, the prospect. Like I said, Austin Meadows isn't in the lineup tonight. So there's a couple of key bats missing for Tampa tonight, giving them some rest going into the playoffs. So it's a lean to Toronto, but I don't love the price. I certainly think it could be a low-scoring game. I don't know what we're going to get from Baz. That's the only question mark. 1.76 in ERA for him in AAA this year. Let's see if he's ready to make the transition here against one of the hottest hitting teams going right now. That's the question mark. But I think the best bet for me is the one I mentioned a minute ago in this game. Robbie Ray, over 7.5 strikeouts. Connor, what do you think here? Jays and Rays.
Yeah, I mean, you can't go against that. He's in double digits, and then the only time he had 8, that's what the last 7 starts. I mean, usually he's got 12 or 13. I'm going to stay off here. Shane Baz is a kid that they got high hopes for. Not only the AAA, he pitched really well in AA. So getting him some work here. You talked about the Rays lineups not stacked. They just saw Ray 4 or 5 days ago, so I think that always helps. I just don't love this game, really. You could look first 5 under, it's 4. I want 4 in the hook. So I'm going to pass. If I had to bet at free bet, I'd take the Rays at plus money, though, at home.
Yeah, it's been impressive for Robbie Ray this year against Tampa Bay. He's given up 7 runs over 34 innings. 34 innings, just 7 runs allowed. So it's been good against this team. Skee, what do you think? Toronto, Tampa.
I mean, I hear you talk about Robbie Ray, and I mean, you liking the strikeouts and everything. It's Robbie Ray versus a rookie. Why are we not taking the Blue Jays here? Like, it's the first time starter, right? Well, what are we waiting for at minus 129? I just not overthinking it. And you talk about every time I can remember Ray versus the Rays, he's done well. And I know it's last time out specifically, I think he went 7 and only gave up 1. So I just don't get what I'm waiting for. I didn't wait. I bet right before the show. Blue Jays last 2 weeks versus righties, they are number 3 weighted runs created plus, and their bullpen has been better the last 2 weeks as well, 3.72 compared to 4.71. So I'm just not gonna overthink it, and I'm backing the Blue Jays today. I like his strikeout prop too that you mentioned.
Yeah, definitely. I think the over 7.5 strikeouts is the best way to go in this game with Robbie Ray. They're high on Shane Baz. He's got the great numbers. That's the only thing, Skee, why I'm not betting Toronto minus 130 is because they like Shane Baz. They think he's ready for this start, but they're not giving him an easy assignment. I mean, the way this Jays offense, which did struggle, remember, a few weeks ago, but they're back in good form again, and obviously playing with great confidence as they try to get into the playoffs as one of these wild card teams. definitely. But we'll have to wait and see how Baz can navigate this lineup. That's the question
One more
mark for
thing,
me.
man.
Yeah.
Didn't you mention in the beginning of the show, you said you want to ride the hot teams? I mean, if I'm not mistaken,
Yes.
haven't the Blue Jays won like 15 or 18 or something like that?
Absolutely. They fit the bill. It's Toronto or pass. I don't want Tampa. I know that. And Tampa lost the last 2 games to Detroit, but it's minus 130. It's not like it's pick 'em or it's not like that. The price is as good as I wanted. But you're right. Toronto's a one-way team. Bet on or pass for me. That's why. But I kind of am betting on Toronto in that I did bet Ray over strikeouts, so that's kind of like betting on Toronto a little bit right there. And then I don't have to worry about how this Baz kid pitches tonight against the Jays lineup. All right, next up we got St. Louis and Milwaukee. We've got John Lester and Freddie Peralta on the mound here. We've got Peralta and the Brewers minus 180 to minus 190 home favorites. The total in this one is 8 across the board. There has been a pitching change. It was going to be John Wolford initially. Now it's going to be Jake Woodford, I should say. Now it's going to be John Lester for the Cardinals. But John Lester's been damn good. I mean, he's turned things around. The old crafty veteran lefty we thought was falling apart before our eyes at one point earlier this year. He's now gone 5 straight starts with 3 runs or less, and during that span, he's given up just a grand total of 8 runs, and that stretches over almost 30 innings. So give John Lester credit. He's pitched much better recently. He just faced Milwaukee September the 5th earlier this month. Shut them down pretty well. 1 run, 6 hits, 5.1 innings, pitched well in that game. On the flip side, you got Peralta for the Milwaukee Brewers, who was battling that injury. He might be back, in good form again because he was battling with that injury. He looked a lot better. He looked like early in the season, Freddie Peralta again in his last start against Detroit. 6 innings of shutout baseball. Gave up just 2 hits in that game, so he pitched extremely well. But I'm going to have to see it again from Peralta. Let's not forget, before that, he looked like he had hit a wall. He had given up 3 runs and lasted just 3.2 innings against the Phillies. He gave up 4 runs in 2 innings to this St. Louis team. He gave up 3 runs in 2 innings again to St. Louis, who have kind of had his number this year.
Yeah.
In fact, the last 4 innings against St. Louis, Peralta's given up 7 runs. So he's really, really had a tough time against St. Louis. And how are you going to go against, talk about hot teams that you can't go against right now? Can't go against St. Louis right now. I mean, they're feeling it. The clubhouse is electric. They're going nuts every time they get a big hit or score a run. I mean, that sweep against San Diego, the intensity from that St. Louis clubhouse, you could feel it, you could see it, you could sense it. They played that series like a playoff series. And they're playing every game like a playoff game right now. They've won 8 in a row, and they've beaten good teams. The Mets have struggled, but they're not terrible. They beat a good Reds team. They swept the Padres. This team is rolling. Goldschmidt, Arenado, Dylan Carlson, my fellow Canadian, Tyler O'Neill. Go on down the list in this Cardinals lineup. Everybody's hitting right now for St. Louis. They're live, in my opinion, at this price. I got to take something on St. Louis in their form, getting plus 170 here. It's a must for me. Cardinals first 5 full game in this one at the plus price. Conor Mac, what do you think? Cardinals Brewers.
Yeah, I mean, Lester's been a little bit better. When we talk about the Brewers struggle to look against lefties at times. And is Peralta back? He had that good start against the Tigers, but and that was kind of at the worst were those 2 St. Louis games when he was, the worst of the year for him. So I can't do it. I love Peralta. I backed him a ton early on. I can't do it at this price here. I got to roll with the hot team and take the Cardinals here. Either go split it first 5 full game or just go full game. I haven't decided yet.
All right, Skee, St. Louis and Milwaukee.
I think Peralta is priced too high for how he's been looking. Like, I know he had that good start last time out versus the Tigers, but they haven't been good versus any righties the last 2 weeks. So I don't know if that's really telling me much. But I do know I saw St. Louis recently hit him up a couple of times. So maybe he's still injured, maybe he's regressing. But however you want to call it, I can't back Peralta. I wasn't prepared for Lester, but he has been good. Has he been good on the road too? I know it was one of the 2. He's either good at home or on the road, or I don't know. So maybe I need more work on that game, but I would have to fade Peralta some way, shape, or form.
Yeah, he does have good home numbers, 2.47 ERA. He has been very good at Miller Park in Milwaukee this year, but I believe one of the starts he struggled with St. Louis came in Milwaukee. It was in Milwaukee. So, you got to be careful with that. Willie Adames, it looks like, has been injured. They might be getting him back in the lineup tonight. There's reports that he might be back and good to go for the Brewers, which would be a huge bat in their lineup again. Willie Adames, one of their better hitters. So he might make his return. That could certainly help the offense a little bit. I kind of lean over the total with that low number of 8, especially if Peralta is not fully back on the beam yet. One start against Detroit is maybe not enough sample size or evidence to prove that he's back. So I might lean over the total of 8 in that game, especially with St. Louis. Their bats are swinging it right now. Just ask San Diego. They laid waste to their pitching. 8 runs in 2 of those games. They had 11 against the Mets, 7 in the other 2 games against the Mets. They've gone over in 4 of their last 5 games. Brewers went over the total, all 3 games in the weekend against the Cubs. So I think over 8. I'm probably going to bet that as well with the Brewers and the Cardinals tonight as well. All right, Kansas City, Cleveland. This is game 2 of the doubleheader. Looks like it is going to be they haven't officially announced the pitchers yet, but it was initially going to be Irvin Santana, spot start for Kansas City. Francisco Perez with an 8.1 ERA for Cleveland. Again, we don't have an official matchup yet, but I'll tell you what, if it's those 2 guys, I might be leaning over the total in this game. But again, we'll wait to see confirmation. Connor, I'm sure you're just passing, right?
Yeah, just a pass. Maybe if the first game goes under,
Yep.
And these are the pitchers, maybe I'll take it. But even there, I doubt it.
All right, and Skee, same with you. You passing?
Yeah, but that's maybe you go Cardinals team total. It's only 3.5. Not much juice, I don't think, and they've surpassed it. I think 5 of their last 6 games.
All right, you mean Cleveland team total, right?
No, I'm not gonna play this doubleheader. Just the game we were talking about before.
Okay, Cardinals. Okay, yeah. Okay, I agree with that. Cardinals team total, absolutely, with the way they're hitting.
And Lester's been better on the road, like the last 2 months. Just to let you know, Skee.
Yeah, 100%. All right, we move on now to the next game, which is Houston and the LA Angels here. Framber Valdez, Jaime Barria, the pitching matchup. Astros minus 210, road favorites, 9 the total in this game. Certainly the Astros trying to, getting themselves into playoff form. They've actually played well. You wonder if this team's really starting to say, you know what, let's go into the playoffs playing good baseball, because they played pretty well, 7-3 their last 10 games. They won 2 of 3 against Arizona over the weekend. Framber Valdez, the lefty, on the mound for the Houston Astros. Now, they skipped his last start, so going to be interesting to see how he comes back here. He's had a rough outing in that start against this very same Angels team. So we'll see if he can bounce back here this time around against them. Barria on the mound for the Angels, 4.93 ERA. He actually pitched well in his last start against the Astros, but still overall a 4.47 ERA for him against Houston in the past. And I think a second look for the Astros against him could be good for him. I know Valdez got hit around by the Angels, but he had that injury. He wasn't 100%. They say he's ready to go. I would think he pitches better here in this one tonight against Barria and the Angels. I would lean slightly to maybe an Astros team total here over 5.5. But other than that, I'm probably going to end up passing here on this game. What do you think here, Conor Mac, with Houston LA Angels?
Yeah, I'm with you. I lean the team total. I just struggled with it. Astros team total, if they're going to hit or not. They own Barria. All these guys, and they hit a shit ton of home runs off him. So, yeah, it'd be the Astros, maybe the full game over. The Angels can swing it a little bit. Valdez has been up and down. He's a guy they're going to need in the postseason. So it'll be interesting to see how he pitches tonight.
All right, Skee, you like anything here, Astros Angels?
I don't really want to back Valdez. I'm just looking at the numbers here, and last 3 starts, about a 5 ERA. Barria has been a little bit better as far as that goes, although I do think Valdez is solid. I probably will play Astros team total and just go against Barria, go against Angels bullpen, and I look at the Astros last 2 weeks. Their number 2 weighted runs created plus versus righty, so that probably will be the way I look to play this game.
Yeah, I agree. If I'm involved here, it would be the team total side of things with Houston over 5.5. Yeah, not applicable is right. We did miss the Baltimore game, so we'll do that one right now. Baltimore, Philadelphia. John Means, Ranger Suarez, the pitching matchup here. Philadelphia minus 200, home favorites, 8 the total. This could be a first 5 under because you look at these two pitchers. John Means actually went through a rough patch, but he's kind of settled down, pitched really a lot better. Against the Yankees in his last start, pitched a lot better in that game, and still, last few starts for him have been good. He's given up 3 runs or less in 5 straight starts. On the road, Means has a 2.48 ERA, so he's pitched really well away from home. Suarez has been pretty good. I mean, his ERA is, 1.5? He's been excellent. So this definitely feels like it should be low scoring early. First 5 under makes sense. I'm so tempted here as well to take a shot first 5 full, especially first 5 because their bullpen sucks. But first 5 at least with Baltimore, because Philadelphia, that loss last night, Sunday Night Baseball to the Mets, gut wrenching. And they're already a team that's behind the 8 ball when it comes to trying to make the wild card. They're not going to win the division. They're not going to catch the wild card now. They couldn't afford to. They have won 4 in a row, but they just can't afford many losses, including the one they had last night. I really wonder if they bounce back from that. I don't know if they will. I think it'll be difficult. And we know Sunday Night Baseball, playing the next day with no day off. Sometimes that's a bet against spot too when you're playing the Sunday night game and then you got to play the very next night. And you're coming off a loss that I think for all intents and purposes, if they weren't out of the playoff race already, Philadelphia, that loss last night to the Mets might have put them out. Now, they're only 2 back of the Braves, so maybe they're not completely out yet, but they're running out a racetrack. They're 3.5 back of the wild card. I don't trust them in this price range. It'd be Baltimore or pass. At first 5 under, I'd look that way as well. Connor, what do you think here? Orioles, Phillies.
Yeah, I don't trust the Phillies bullpen. I think this is too big a price. Suarez has been good. I wanted 4.5 for this first 5 under. I mean, I lean that way, but at 4, I can't bet it. And I'd only be on the Orioles here with Means. You're going to give me that price, first 5, even go full game because that bad bullpen with the Phillies. I'd only be on the Orioles or pass.
Yeah, and by the way, Means 6 runs in his last 17 innings, so much better out of him, the Baltimore lefty lately. Skee, anything here? Baltimore, Philadelphia.
Yeah, I agree with what you said, Ian. Look at both of these pitchers. I mean, like you said, Means has been pretty good lately, and Suarez has been good all year. So, it would have to be. I mean, I still think they can get under that first 5 at 4 because all you have to you look at Means, he goes about 6 innings, I think, every time, and you look at Suarez, I think you can get 5 innings out of him, and he usually only gives up like 1 run. So and the Means usually only gives up like 2. So that puts you at 3. I think 4 is still a safe number. So I like that. And you live play the team totals or live play the over. Fade Baltimore's bullpen with a 7.58 ERA over the last 2 weeks. And you can fade Philly's bullpen too.
Yeah, exactly. These are not two very reliable or trustworthy bullpens. That is for damn sure. They've had a tough time all year. All right, we've got our last 2 games. We'll pause here for the 7th inning stretch, which we'll do right now, and say hello to everybody in the chat. 134 live viewers. Hit the like button. Make sure you do that if you haven't already. George Gutierrez, Brian Watson, can't get right. Noel 207, Elliot V, not applicable. Crystal Warren, Olu, Real Deal Prime, Eric Jones. We appreciate everybody tuning in here today. Real Deal Prime, PRS, Full LCS, Erica Taylor, Bone Kiki 72. Everybody joining the Real DJX. Appreciate all of you guys tuning in to us. Eric Jones, MHP, Steve's Book, Top Set, Kenny V, and everybody else. Cheshire Cat joining us. We've got Kevin DeFreitas, who's always a viewer in our chat, most shows. Billy Pilgrim. Thank you, everybody. Danzo, welcome in. Everybody hit the like button if you haven't done so already. Our final 2 games will turn now to Seattle and Oakland. Tyler Anderson, Sean Manaea, the pitching matchup here in this one. We've got Oakland minus 180, home favorites, 8 the total in this game. 2 teams on the outside looking in when it comes to the AL wildcard race. Of course, the Red Sox and the Blue Jays have the 2 wild card spots. And then you have Oakland 2 games back of the Blue Jays for that second wild card, and Seattle 4 games back of Toronto for that second wild card. This is a must win game for Seattle. They got to actually think maybe we got to sweep this series, Seattle. They are really up against it. So they've got to come into this thinking we've got to absolutely, win 2 or 3, if not sweep this series here against the Oakland Athletics. But that's not going to be an easy thing to do. Sean Manaea on the mound here for the Oakland Athletics. He's pitched pretty well against Seattle this year. Struggled a little bit against them on July 22nd. But here's the problem. 8 starts since the month of August started, and he has a 6.92 ERA, Sean Manaea, the Oakland lefty. So he's really had a struggle as of late for this Oakland team. I'm not ready to lay a price with him, especially given for Seattle. You got to go out there, leave it all on the line. You got to win this game. You've probably got to win every game in this series if you're Seattle, if you even have any sort of chance. And it's not going to be easy because Oakland's won 5 in a row, and they've played better baseball in the last little stretch. They got Tyler Anderson on the mound tonight, the Mariners. He's been, for the most part, pretty solid. Most of his starts since joining Seattle, he's given up 3 runs or less. Seattle's got a good record with Anderson on the mound. They're 5-2 in his 7 starts since joining the Mariners at the deadline. Last gasp type of spot for Seattle against a pitcher I don't trust. I know they're in good form, Oakland, but at this price, I'm leaning Seattle. I would only look to the Mariners here. This is it. This is must win. It's win this game or probably kiss your playoff hopes goodbye if they aren't already out the window. Conor Mac, what do you think here, Seattle and Oakland?
Yeah, A's have finally won 5 straight, but they hit the shits, maybe too much in the last month to survive here. And you're right. The A's are at home. They're just too big a price with Manaea. It's just too big for me to bet at this time of the year. You'd have to take him first 5 half a run, or run line. In this time of year, I don't want to do that. To me, it's Seattle. Like you said, they got to win this one. It's them at plus 155 or pass.
Yeah, exactly. This is it for Seattle. Goodbye playoffs if they don't win tonight. And even if they win tonight, they got to win tomorrow. They got to pretty much damn well sweep this series. That's what they got to do. That's where they're at, Seattle. They have no room for error, none at all. They got to win this game. They got to win the rest of this series. That's for sure. Skee, what do you think here with the Mariners and the A's?
Well, how likely do you think it is that they sweep them? And I hear that Seattle's playing for something, but isn't Oakland too? Aren't they playing for a wild card spot? So
definitely.
I think you'll get a decent effort from them as well. And just looking at between Anderson and Manaea's last few starts, Manaea's been better than Anderson. Looking at the bullpen, Oakland has been better than Seattle the past 2 weeks. When I look at the bats, Oakland 4th, weighted runs created plus versus lefty, Seattle 24th. So I'd be happy to be on Oakland.
Yeah, well, that's why they're favorite. That's why they're minus 170. So yeah.
Oh, definitely. Well, Oakland's feeling it now. They've won 5 in a row. They're 2 back now of the Jays for the second wild card, and they got to keep winning too, especially with the way the Jays are playing.
Yeah. I'm gonna challenge you again, Ian. And when you start the show, you said you want to be on the teams that are hot, and you're not playing the teams that are not.
That's
you have
right.
Seattle, who's lost 5 of 8, and you have Oakland that's won 5 in a row.
Yeah, I want to be on the teams that are hot at good prices, though. I don't think this is a good price with Oakland.
Yeah, unless you want to lay it.
The greatest price, yeah. And their bad bullpen. Well, Oakland's bullpen's been better like the last 4 or 5 games during the win streak, but let's not forget they were a hot mess before that.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that bullpen can just implode at any minute. So that's the issue. I love ride the hot teams. I agree, but I can ride a St. Louis hot team at plus 190. I can ride. Toronto even is a better value at minus 130. I think than Oakland. I can ride Pittsburgh and fade a struggling Cincinnati team at a nice price. It's just minus 180 for Oakland's just not the price I'm in love with. It's not that I don't think that it's a good theory to ride Oakland, but do I want to do it at minus 170, minus 180? No. That's the difference with, say, them and St. Louis, on the card tonight. It's all about the price point. And Texas, too, because the Yankees are slumping. There you go. Good price to fade them. So there you go. Ride the hot, fade the cold. It's all about the price point. And I agree, Oakland's tough team to go against right now. But, again, you're paying a premium here, minus 180. All right, final game of this Monday card, Atlanta, Arizona, Oscar Yanoa, Humberto Mejia. The pitching matchup, we've got Atlanta minus 190, road favorites, 9.5 the total in this game. The Atlanta Braves suddenly, not out of the woods in terms of winning the NL East. They've kind of hit a wall. 1-4 in their last 5 games. They got swept by Colorado. They were about to get swept by San Francisco, but they rescued themselves and won the finale of that series. Now they'll turn to Oscar Yanoa on the mound for the Braves, who's pitched pretty well last 2 starts against Colorado and Washington. We'll see if he can keep pitching well here. He does have a 4.18 ERA on the road. Humberto Mejia on the mound for Arizona. Kind of struggled, I would say. 4 runs, 8 hits, 6 innings in his last start against Philly. Against Pittsburgh, 2 runs, 6 hits, 5 innings. Arizona 0-2 in Mejia's 2 starts. With Yanoa on the mound, who faced Arizona back on April 23rd, and he gave up just 2 runs in 6 innings, so he pitched pretty well in that game. I kind of like Atlanta first 5 here, -0.5 a run, which is -120. Decent price. Against Arizona. I know they've been kind of struggling, but I think Yanoa can pitch well. He's been good in his last 3 starts. He neutralized Arizona when he faced them, and Humberto Mejia just doesn't, looks like a mediocre at best pitcher. I think Atlanta can probably, a little confidence after salvaging 1 game against San Francisco yesterday for Atlanta, maybe carry that momentum into tonight. I think Atlanta -0.5 a run, -120 first 5 innings. That's the bet I like the most in this game. Connor, what do you think here? Braves, Diamondbacks.
Yeah, Braves need to win this one. I mean, he is a guy who got rocked kind of in AAA. So, and he's had a few spot starts. He gave up 2 runs and 4 runs. I don't trust him. This is a guy the Braves should hit. I looked at the Braves team total at 5.5 because I still don't love that D-backs bullpen. Or you could take the half run. I don't know if I'm going to play it or not, but that's what I lean here.
Yeah, and a good track record against Arizona. Skee, anything here? Atlanta, Arizona.
This got extremely loud in my background. So, no, I don't have too much. I just think Diamondbacks bullpen is not good. They haven't been hitting righties lately. Braves have been hitting righties, and their bullpen I trust. I don't really trust lately, how he's been looking. So I don't love laying or betting with them at the price. I would wait till the bullpen come in and play the Braves.
All right, so maybe look at a bullpen. You're right. Atlanta still does have a better. Most teams do. I think 95% of MLB teams have a better bullpen than Arizona. So kind of like Baltimore as well. Now, actually, everybody in Major League Baseball has a better bullpen than Baltimore. So those teams, yes, sometimes a good in-game bet, live bet against those teams with those just hideous bullpens. They're often good bets to make. All right, that's the baseball card. Before we get to best bets, Jack of the Day, we'll hear from the sponsors as always, Manscaped, Southtown 101. We do have a Monday Night Football NFL game, and we're going to get some thoughts from Connor and Skee on that. Detroit and Green Bay. Got the Green Bay Packers, 11.5-point home favorites at Lambeau Field, 49.5 the total in this game. In theory, this is supposed to be Aaron Rodgers and the Packers bouncing back against a team they're capable of shellacking. A Detroit Lions secondary that got ripped apart by San Francisco last week. A San Francisco team that, by the way, just got held to 17 points against the Philadelphia Eagles on the weekend. But when you see the Packers look so listless against New Orleans, a Saints team that got crushed by Carolina in their second game on Sunday, is this even more reason to be concerned about Green Bay? Because it wasn't just offense. It was one of Aaron Rodgers' worst games. He was awful. The offensive line didn't help him, but he was not good either. And the defense just got shredded for 5 touchdown passes by Jameis Winston, who just got completely bottled up by Carolina yesterday. So it makes it even more concerning how bad that game was for Green Bay last week. But I don't know. I'm not interested in laying 11.5 here, full game, especially with Detroit covering 7 of 8 against Green Bay head to head going into this game. And we did see Detroit fight to the end against San Francisco last week, which is why I'm even more reluctant to lay 11.5 with Green Bay. I think if you like the Packers, I've bet this a little bit for a small bet. I don't love this game. This is just something recreationally. Put a couple bucks into the game while I'm watching it. Green Bay -7 in the first half. I know our boy Dutch, he works with us, the 3 of us on the NBA Pub Hub last year. Hopefully we'll get to work with him again this year coming up next month when NBA starts. But I know he likes Packers -7 in the first half. I think that's the best way to go about it if you like Green Bay. That early in the game, they come out, try to make a statement, bury this Detroit defense, which is terrible. It's absolutely brutal, this Detroit defense, after what I saw last week. They can't stop the run. Their secondary is terrible, really bad. And that's not where you want to be bad against Aaron Rodgers and the Packers passing game in theory on paper. So Green Bay, I think if you like the Packers, take the first half or even the first quarter instead, as opposed to the full game. I would probably go in that direction here with the -7 first half if I were to get involved in this one. Total, I don't have much of an opinion on the total. I think there is a chance of some decent, wins, some moderate to strong wind tonight at Lambeau Field. So keep that in mind. That could be bad news for over players because usually wind impacts scoring more than obviously rain or snow. But small bet for me, Green Bay first half, but I don't really have a strong betting stance on this game overall. Conor Mac, what do you think here, the Monday night or Packers-Lions?
Yeah, I think if you like the Packers, first half's the way to go after that pathetic performance in Jacksonville against the Saints. We saw how the Saints played yesterday against the Panthers. So all the NFL any day. But I look at Packers first half a little bit. Packers team total over. I think it's like you can get around 30 and a half. I think they get that. That Lions defense is pathetic. And if Rodgers is just pretty decent tonight, I think they can get there. I wouldn't lay, though. Packers should win this game. I'm not laying 12 points. No freaking way. I'd take that. So that was it. That's all I really had on this one. I haven't really gone through the props. I might take a look at some of them, but I haven't ripped through them yet today.
Yeah, there's people on hinting that follow the Packers that say maybe the locker room is splintered a little bit, that things just aren't. There's some tense things going on in the locker room. That there's
winning cures that
tension going on. Yeah, we'll see. But then again, if tonight we see this game and it's like anybody's game in the fourth quarter, or dare I say they lose it, or they just barely squeak past Detroit tonight at home, then I think we've got very real reason to be concerned about Green Bay moving forward. But again, we won't know that until we see this game play out. That's why it makes it a hard game, because you're not getting any bargains to back a Green Bay team that we're all wondering, what the fuck was that last week? And is it just a one-off, or is it a sign of problems to come? We're going to find that out. What do you think here, Skee, Monday Night Football?
In general, I think that the Lions, that game was closer than what the box score. I mean, not closer, but it wasn't as close as the box score showed. I think San Fran just kind of took their foot off the gas, and let the Lions come back and get within the spread or push or however you want to call it. And on the other side, the Packers kind of just gave up. So, hey, what are you going to get from the Packers in this game? I mean, you get them on national TV, I think you get a good effort. So I just simplified this game. You don't see Devontae Adams held down that much in general. So I look towards the prop market to find some value here, and I like for him to get – either one of these two props, either him to have 100+ yards and Green Bay to win, +114, or for him to have, they didn't even score one touchdown last week. Maybe he can score 2 this week and Green Bay wins, +225. Those are the two ways that I'm thinking about playing this game, but not a game that I did love.
Yeah, even the props, I think it's tricky because, I think Aaron Rodgers passing yards, I will be on that. You don't get a bargain to bet that prop, but if there's ever a night where he's going to go off and throw for 300 through the air and just torch somebody, it's this game at home after a debacle last week against one of the worst pass defenses in the NFL. So I like that's the one prop I really like. Aaron Rodgers over passing yards. Don't overthink it. Shred a secondary that is very, very beatable. They just don't have a great cover corner group at all, this Detroit Lions team. And they just lost Jeff Okudah again. The guy they drafted last year, first-round pick out of Iowa, that was supposed to be one of the guys to bolster that secondary, and he just can't stay on the field. He was injured last year. He gets hurt again in week 1 last week, and that's just going to make matters even more difficult for this Lions secondary tonight. So it feels like it should be a game where Aaron Rodgers just throws for a bunch of yards and gets the passing yard prop with room to spare. So I like that one tonight. Rogers over passing yards. All right, that's the Monday nighter. We got through the entire baseball card as well. We will get to our best bets and Jack of the Day in just a second. But first, messages from Manscaped and Southtown 101. Feel like I should be, driving downtown somewhere with the roof open and the subwoofers blaring that tune there in the Southtown 101 ad. But yeah, Southtown 101 in San Antonio, Texas. Great food, drinks, live music, DJs, karaoke. Make sure you stop in there, San Antonio, Southtown 101. Manscaped, promo code PubSports, 20% off your purchase using that promo code Lawnmower 4.0, and any Manscaped product, 20% off the purchase with the promo code PubSports. And MyBookie.ag, promo code PubSports. Football season here. Hockey and basketball both get underway. NHL, NBA next month. So no better time than right now to sign up for MyBookie.ag. Bitcoin accepted currency for your deposit as well. Check it out, MyBookie.ag. Sign up for an account. Use the promo code PubSports. All right. Best bets for MLB in just a sec, but first, it's time for Jack of the Day.
Well, see you later.
All right, Jack of the Day, again, a shorter card tonight. We're scaling back a bit on the Jack of the Day props, but there's a couple that stand out. Kyle Tucker against Berea has 2 home runs against him. That's definitely a good way to go. Same with Jose Altuve. I think both of them are good home run props tonight against Jaime Berea. When you look at the Cardinals, Paul Goldschmidt owns Peralta, 2 home runs. He's in great form. Arenado as well has hit a couple of homers against Freddie Peralta as well. I think those are Jack of the Day props you can look at here for the for St. Louis against him tonight. Other than that, pretty much not it. I mean, Zimmerman against Luzardo might be worth a look. You can never say Bryce Harper's a bad way to go with the way he's been hitting for the Phillies. But that's about it. The main ones to me are going to be those Astros and those Cardinals players for Jack of the Day tonight. Conor Mac, what do you like there?
Yeah, I'm going to take a couple of Tigers. Cabrera's 7 for 18 with 2 homers. He's plus 650. Jonathan Scopes 4 for 10 with a jack. He's plus 600. You mentioned Goldschmidt plus 350. You got to grab him. 6 for 11 with a couple homers. Any of those Astros you talked about, Gurriel's 7 for 14. Doesn't have a homer, but plus 550. And the last I looked at the Angels, I think Walsh is 4 for 5 with a homer. He's plus 550. And that was about it.
All right, Skee. I know you don't. If you don't have no home run props, you can go right into what you like for your best bet.
Well, I'm going to take a second to just talk about a little bit what we were talking about earlier. And just to say, we were talking before the show, you guys, and it just kind of, I feel like it correlates to what we were talking about in the baseball show. But, about just getting CLV on your bets, right? The object of the game is to win your bets, not just to say, oh, you got value in this and that, right?
Of course,
so,
yes.
When we talk about, I also talked to you guys on the show before, and we talked about how profitable it's been to back a lot of these big favorites going back, 7 of the last 10 years, going back to 2004. If you've been backing the big dogs just because they're dogs, you've been losing. So either you roll with it sometimes when you think they're going to win, or you find value in them another way. And I'm just talking about that Seattle and Oakland game because you can do either one. You can take Oakland at the big price if you trust them, or you can make value in them by making a -1 line, and it becomes -127, which is, if you can lay a -125, you can lay a -127. So that's it. For my best bet, I'm gonna go to Toronto, and I'm gonna say Don't overthink it. Robbie Ray versus a rookie, and Toronto's won 15 of their last 18 games. I'm back the Blue Jays on the money line.
All right, the red-hot Toronto Blue Jays and the front-runner for the AL Cy Young Award, Robbie Ray. Toronto minus 130 against Tampa Bay. Best bet for Skee Profit. Conor Mac, what do you like for best bet?
Yeah, just to touch on Skee's thing, I agree with you. Just make it, like you just said, maybe a -1 to afford it, because over time, though, if you lose -170s, you're laying 170 to win 100 back. Man, it can burn a hole in your pocket really quick. But yeah, finding value is the way to go, especially this time of year in baseball. I got to go with the Nationals, -110, just to win. I think they hit Luzardo. You can roll with that team total because now it's 4.5. But it is +115. I'll probably have a little bet on that too, but Nationals win today. They beat the Marlins.
All right, there you go. Washington Nationals -105. Best bet for Conor Mac, Washington against Miami. Mine is going to be a big dog. Yes, there's been a few times I've passed on using an underdog, a bigger underdog for a best bet, and that dog has won. And those few other times last week on the show, I considered it. I'm going to actually use one of these big underdogs that I've bet on this card tonight. And I'm going to use, of all people, I couldn't wait to fade this guy start in and start out earlier this year. But I'm on St. Louis, +170, best bet against Milwaukee. John Lester's actually in good form, pitched well against Milwaukee. Peralta's been roughed up by the Cardinals, and how can you argue with the form of the Cardinals? They're just finding ways to win right now, and I think they're an extremely live pooch tonight. +170, St. Louis Cardinals, best bet for me tonight against the Milwaukee Brewers for my Monday best bet. Hey, got to change it up every now and then, especially late in the year. Can't always be totals. This is honestly my favorite play on the board. I actually like this more than any other side or total. So St. Louis at this price, I think, is just terrific value. All right, great stuff with Conor Mac and Skee Profit, who's with us every Monday. Hope you enjoyed the show. Hit the like button on the way out. 150 live viewers. We appreciate it. We got lots of stuff on the channel. I believe we have a Monday Night Football live stream tonight for Lions and Packers. Make sure you check that out here on Pub Sports Radio. We've got Clint's MMA Die Hard podcast show tonight on the channel as well. Beat the Line with Jimmy the Bag and Rob Bebsy to get you through all the NFL games for week 3 tomorrow night, Tuesday, 8 p.m. Eastern. Make sure you tune in for that. We got MLB closing time all week long. My Football Frenzy show on Thursday. Horse race streams with Razor later in the week. Tons of stuff going on at Pub Sports Radio. And then we're going to add NBA and NHL shows and content to the mix next month. So even more on the way right here at Pub Sports Radio. Thanks to everyone for supporting, as always. For Conor Mac and Skee Profit, I'm Ian Cameron. Have a great Monday night. Enjoy the games and good luck. We'll see you again tomorrow on the MLB Closing Time show right here on Pub Sports Radio. Guys, have a good night. Enjoy the games and good luck.